Welcome to the Guns and Noses podcast. My name's Helen Taylor and I am the owner of Guns and Noses, and I own 3 Labradors. We're here to talk about real moments, real lives, and the wins, the wobblers, and the occasional up yours moments. We're talking about those dogs with enthusiasm and us humans who are trying to keep up. So why don't you sit back, grab a brew, slow down, and listen in. Hello and welcome back to the Guns and Noses podcast. I hope you are enjoying your Easter break and you've taken a bit of time to relax and eat a bit of chocolate because it is really important. And spending time with the family. I'm having a wonderful time hanging out with my daughter. It's just so joyful to see them enjoying the sunshine and enjoying chocolate and family time. So I hope you all have had a chance to head off and do a little bit of something for you as a family. But that's not the reason of this podcast, not today. The point of today's podcast is all about equipment and why your lead isn't the problem. So I hear quite regularly from people, my dog pulls, I think I need a new lead or a new collar or a new harness or some other bit of equipment. And I did go to a client the other day and she pulled out a whole heap of different pieces of kit. And if that sounds familiar, if that's kind of what you've got going on, then your lead isn't really a problem. I also hear that people say, well, my dog walks better off lead than they do on lead. And that's a really common thing for me to hear too. But if you are one of those people who have all sorts of different kit and you like to go out and buy different things to hopefully solve the problem, then that isn't really your problem. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of truth here. The lead is definitely not the problem. The kit is definitely not the problem. And the problem is your mindset. Now, if buying something new, you expect a different result, and to be fair, some pieces of equipment can help to manage things. So you might have gone out and bought a head collar, or God forbid, a prong or a shock collar or anything like that. It doesn't actually teach your dog anything. All that does is, with aversive equipment, is it shuts your dogs down. They learn to go into a state of helplessness. But you take that kit off and the problem behaviour just resurfaces. So the reason why your dog pulls on the lead is, or can be, a multitude of different things. It could be excitement or frustration, or they're overstimulated, especially if they're quite young. It could be a lack of clarity or too much nagging from a handler. There could be an emotional response to the environment too. So if you go to places regularly, like, I don't know, you go to a doggy daycare or you go to the beach or you go to their favourite dog walking spot, then the emotional response to the environment is excitement. And the lead is just there to contain that excitement. It's not causing it. So when I hear people say, oh, I've been told not to put a harness on my dog because it just teaches them to pull, well, that's a bit of a fallacy. So the harness can make the pulling more comfortable, but it is not the thing that teaches your dog to pull. And I'd like that to just sit with you for a moment. When your dog's on a lead, they actually have less freedom and they can't move naturally or create space. And that's something that can actually frustrate a lot of dogs, or it can make them feel a bit more anxious, especially if there's other dogs around. And when our dogs pull or they lunge or they bark, it's not because of the lead, it's because of how they're feeling. But the thing that teaches them that pulling works is the person at the other end of the lead. And I wanted to say that slowly. It's not the harness, it's not the lead, it's not the collar, it's the response from the handler at the other end of the lead. So instead of focusing on what kit is going to improve your dog's training or lead walking, first of all, we have to look at their arousal levels. We have to look at their ability to regulate, their understanding of what you're asking and the environment that you're putting them in. And all those things you can reflect back on by listening to previous episodes of this podcast, because I've spoken in great detail about all these things. So you set off with your dog for a walk, and the moment, or should I say, you get the kit out, your dog gets excited, you set out from the house, your dog is dragging you through the door, you then go through the garden gate, your dog drags you through the door, through the gate, and the cycle just goes on and on and on. If you'd taken your time to stand really nice and still and calm and teach them that calm is what gets them to move forward, then you'll get more of that. The equipment just manages your dog in those moments, so it stops them from door dashing and getting out onto the road. But it's actually what the handler does in the first place that teaches the dog how to behave on the lead. So this isn't about finding the perfect lead or controlling your dog more or, putting more sort of blocks in place to be able to stop them from doing what they're doing. It's all about you understanding your dog, supporting them correctly and teaching them the right skills in the first place. And so if you need more help with this, I suggest you listen to some of the other podcast episodes and start to think about what is going on with your dog in that exact moment. And stop relying on equipment as the basis of your blame. That's the right word that I was looking for. Took me a while then. And start thinking about what it is that your dog's doing. Why is it that they're doing it? How can we help support them better? Why are they reacting? Have they been attacked before in the past? Do they find that situation frustrating? Have they been under-socialized? There's lots of little questions that you can ask yourself, but one of the things that I want to reframe in your minds is equipment doesn't teach your dogs to pull. It's what happens at the other end of the lead that teaches your dogs to pull. So now a reflection question for you and something for you to go out and work on. Next time you take your dog for a walk, I want you to slow down, take things a bit steadier. Watch your dog in its entirety from the beginning to the end of the walk. From the moment you get the lead or the harness out to the moment that you get home. Is it that your dog is really super excited to go out for a walk? Is it that they go to somewhere regular and that's where they misbehave? Is it that you are, when they are pulling, you are going with them? All those things I want you to reflect on the next time you take your dog for a walk. I hope this episode has helped you to just reflect a little bit on that and think a little bit differently about your dog. And if it has, please do pass it on to another fellow dog owner. If you'd like to join me in the Insiders Club, that will be coming really soon. And you will have an opportunity to join as a founder member. Thank you for spending this time with me. If today's episode helped you slow down, feel seen, or think a little differently about your dog, then it's done its job. Remember, progress isn't about perfection, it's about observation and reflection. You're not behind, you're not failing, and you're definitely not alone. Until next time, keep training kindly and try to keep up.